Let's get you our top story, and that's Prime Minister Modi held a bilateral meeting with his counterpart in Australia, Anthony Albanese, aimed at boosting the ties between the two countries in areas of renewable energy, trade and defence. The Prime Minister said that the two leaders also spoke about the incidents of vandalism of temples in Australia. He said that the Australian Prime Minister had assured him of strict action against those indulging in such vandalism.
In fact, the Prime Minister also addressed a joint press briefing with the Australian counterpart, Anthony Albanese. He said, "This is our 6th meeting in the past 1 year. This reflects the depth in our comprehensive relations and the maturity of our ties as well." He added in the language of cricket, "Our ties have entered the T20 mode."
Right. He went on to say that their ties are based on mutual respect and mutual trust. The Prime Minister was accorded the ceremonial Guard of Honour at the Admiralty House in Sydney. The Prime Minister also signed the visitors' book there. Later, he was seen walking with the Prime Minister of Australia outside the Royal Opera House in the backdrop. And there you can see the two leaders talking about what all they have in common. He, in fact, invited the Prime Minister to come here for the World Cup, and also that will be timed around Diwali, so also to get that experience of the Diwali cheer and festive feel here in India.
That's a quick recap for you as far as the Prime Minister's touchdown in Sydney is concerned. But the other big story we're tracking on NDTV 24/7 is the new Parliament building that is expected to be inaugurated this Sunday. Quite an action-packed Sunday for the Prime Minister as he touches down back home. The several opposition leaders, though, and parties, including the Congress, have objected to Prime Minister Narendra Modi opening the new Parliament instead of our President Draupadi Murmu.
That's right, Parmeshwar. TMC became the first opposition party to say that they would boycott the inauguration. Later in the evening yesterday, even Arvind Kejriwal's Aam Aadmi Party became the second, declaring that they would boycott the function on account of the insult to the President, Draupadi Murmu, who was not allowed to inaugurate the Parliament building.
Right, Mr. Kejriwal had met Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee yesterday as part of his outreach to opposition parties over the centre's executive order on transfer and postings of bureaucrats in Delhi, as we had covered.
Parmeshwar, a joint statement of like-minded parties, that's expected today. However, TMC, BRS and Aam Aadmi Party are unlikely to be part of that joint statement.
Aam Aadmi Party and TMC have already announced that they would be staying away from the inauguration of the new Parliament building. And today what we are learning is that a joint statement of like-minded opposition parties expected, wherein this joint statement led by Congress Party and comprising of like-minded opposition parties of over 15 opposition parties likely to announce that they will also be boycotting the inauguration of the new Parliament building by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, because all these opposition parties maintain that it is the President who should be inaugurating the new Parliament and not the Prime Minister, and that's why they say that the President is being insulted in this occasion, and that's why they say that they will not be taking part in the inauguration ceremony of the new Parliament building. Congress throughout the day yesterday on Tuesday spoke with several like-minded opposition parties, and that's why all the opposition parties have taken a collective decision to stay away from this inauguration of new Parliament building, and that's why what we are being told is that today a joint statement will be issued by almost all these 15 plus like-minded opposition parties led by Congress.
Moving on, well, Arvind Kejriwal's opposition outreach continues after meeting Mamata Banerjee yesterday in Kolkata. Arvind Kejriwal will be meeting Uddhav Thackeray, and that's expected in Mumbai.
Right, as you mentioned, he met Mamata Banerjee yesterday with Bhagwant Mann, Sanjay Singh. Atashi was also there from the Aam Aadmi Party. Arvind Kejriwal went on to thank the Trinamool Congress for their support against the ordinance. He actually tweeted to say, "The people of Delhi got the support of Mamata Didi yesterday. When the Modi government will present a bill in Parliament against the people of Delhi, TMC will oppose it in favour of the people of Delhi. On behalf of the people of Delhi, I thank Didi from the bottom of my heart," is what the Aam Aadmi Party chief tweeted.
Let's get you the latest from Australia. A roundtable meeting is expected by Prime Minister Modi. He's going to be having that business meeting before he flies out of Australia. Well, today what happened was he held a bilateral meeting with his Australian counterpart, Anthony Albanese. He spoke about their mutual ties and how they are based on mutual ties, mutual trust, mutual respect, and went on to talk about how it's in now T20 mode.
In fact, let's listen in to what our Prime Minister had to say, and as well as his Australian counterpart.
ऑस्ट्रेलिया में मंदिरों पर होने वाले हमलों और अलगाववादी तत्वों की गतिविधियों के संबंध में हमने पहले भी बात की थी और आज भी हमने बात की है। भारत और ऑस्ट्रेलिया के सौहार्दपूर्ण रिश्तों को कोई भी तत्व अपने विचारों या अपने एक्शन से आघात पहुंचाए, ये हमें स्वीकार्य नहीं है। प्रधानमंत्री अल्बनीजी ने इस संदर्भ में जो कदम उठाए हैं, मैं इसके लिए उनको धन्यवाद देता हूं। साथ ही उन्होंने मुझे एक बार फिर आश्वस्त किया है कि वो ऐसे तत्वों के विरुद्ध सख्त एक्शन लेते रहेंगे।
Prime Minister Modi and I are pleased to have just witnessed the exchange of the Australia-India Migration and Mobility Partnership Agreement. This arrangement will promote the exchange of students, graduates, researchers and business people, expand our people-to-people ties and enhance cooperation in preventing people smuggling. Renewable energy was once again a focus and an important topic in our discussions, and I'm pleased that we have just witnessed the signing of the terms of reference of the Australia-India Green Hydrogen Task Force.
Well, we have Kadamini joining us to get us more details of that bilateral that was held, that joint statement by the two leaders. Kadamini, take us through the key takeaways. Also, what was the focus on? Of course, they did, reiterate their growing friendship, the ties that they share, which is based on mutual trust and mutual respect. In fact, now calling it in the T20 mode.
Right, Rishika. This is one of the important ties which India has. You have just heard the PM of Australia as well as PM Modi. The agenda of the bilateral covered quite a broad range of issues. As they said, it included cooperation in areas of trade, investment, defense, security, renewable energy, green hydrogen, critical minerals, education, migration and mobility, and people-to-people ties. They also exchanged views on India's initiatives under its G20 presidency and UN Security Council reform, regional developments, including the Indo-Pacific. So these are the topics which were discussed in detail in the bilateral discussions. Apart from that, PM Modi also held talks with Governor General David Hurley of Australia, and they also discussed the ways to further bilateral ties between both the countries. He also met the leader of opposition in Australia, Peter Hutton, and this is a broad range of meetings he's had today. One important point which he raised was the issue of attacks on temples in Australia, and he has said that PM Albanese has assured that he will take strict actions and such attacks will not affect the relationship between India and Australia. Australia has also announced that it will establish a new consulate general in Bangalore, just as PM Modi had announced yesterday that a new Indian consulate will be established in Brisbane. So these are the important issues which were discussed. Now the schedule of PM Modi, the next what is coming up is a business roundtable. He had also met some business leaders yesterday, but today there will be a business roundtable, which is quite important given the trade ties which India has. Apart from that, strategic ties were also discussed, and as you know that Australia has hosted the Malabar exercises. There are other factors as well, such as Indo-Pacific, which binds quite closely India and Australia. They have talked about this in Quad as well. So the importance which India accords to this relationship is quite clear from the fact that though PM Modi has met the Australian PM here in India when he visited, and also on the sidelines of G7 in Hiroshima. He did not cancel his trip. He went to Australia. He's had this 3-day trip there. And today he'll also be talking to the business leaders there for more investments and business ties there. One important factor which has been a sticking point with UK but has worked here is the immigration and mobility, which will really benefit the students who go there to study, and trade ties as well, Rishika.
Right, Kadamini, thank you so much for getting us all those details. The Prime Minister has also invited the Australian counterpart for the World Cup, which will be taking place later this year. Of course, like Kadamini was mentioning, he raised the issues of the temple attacks in Australia. With that, we're slipping to a very short break. Lots more coming up on the other side.
Right, Srinagar is hosting the biggest international event, the G20 Working Group Tourism Meet. The details are coming up in a moment. Welcome back. Srinagar is hosting the biggest international event, the G20 Working Group Tourism Meet, and the meetings continue for the third day.
That's right. Parmeshwar, G20's Amitabh Kant spoke to NDTV and said that Kashmir needs to be Kashmir and can compete with Laos if high-value tourist spots are developed, and the government is in the process of doing that. He also said filmmakers who used to earlier go to Switzerland are now coming to Kashmir. Let's listen.
I'm joined by G20 Sherpa, Mr. Amitabh Kant. Sir, Kashmir is being sold as the international destination as far as film is concerned. But if you want international film people to come here, what all facilities can India provide or Kashmir provide?
So first of all, you must realize that there are 370 films being shot in Kashmir right now. OTT platforms, films, all producers who used to go to Switzerland are now relocating to Kashmir to do their filming here. So there can't be a better product than Kashmir. Look at the beauty of Dal Lake, look at the beauty of Gulmarg, look at the beauty of Pahalgam, the Sonmarg. All these are magnificent places. Much of Kashmir has actually not yet been open to the magnificent scenic locales. So I think this is the destination. This can be the greatest destination in the world for film shooting, for not merely Bollywood, but for all our regional languages, plus for Hollywood and all the international filmmakers you should attract. Thousands and thousands of filmmakers will come here.
And what about high value tourism? You were speaking about high value tourism, that they should also come. People who have got a lot of money can spend. Which all destinations can be developed for them?
So I think a lot of places in Kashmir can be developed, but this would require very good resorts to be developed through the private sector, which has started happening in this government. The government should be a facilitator. It should do infrastructure development. It should do destination marketing. It should do good master planning of destinations. But tourism is a private sector activity. Allow private sector to create the best world-class quality resorts here. Many different institutional investors are interested in investing in Kashmir. They will come in due course, and I think Kashmir will become one of the greatest destinations in the world.
So one last question. There is a lot of, questions are being asked as to the level of participation as far as this working group is concerned, tourism. Many countries, have sent their very lower level functionaries. So what do you have to say about that?
All countries are participating here. We've had a very big response. We've had the biggest response in Kashmir as compared to other working groups.
All G7 are participating?
All G7 are participating. All countries are participating except China. 2-3 countries where the official representatives are being represented by tour operators and travel agents, because travel and tourism is a private sector activity. But all countries except China are participating here.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Breaking news coming in at the moment in the Delhi liquor policy case. The Enforcement Directorate is now conducting raids at Sanjay Singh's associate's residence, Parmeshwar.
Right, we're being told ED is conducting raids at Ajit Tyagi's residence and Sarvesh Mishra's residence. These two are men who are aides of Sanjay Singh, the AAP senior leader. The ED searches carry on as we speak currently. Arvind Gunasekar joining us over the phone line with a quick update. Arvind, the ED is searching Sanjay Singh's associate's premises currently?
Yeah, Parmeshwar, the Enforcement Directorate is currently carrying out search operation at around over 5 locations in and around National Capital Region. So what we are being told is that this particular case pertains to the Delhi liquor policy money laundering investigation. But the important aspect in this particular search operation is that according to our sources, the people covered in this search operation are associates of senior Aam Aadmi Party leader who is also Rajya Sabha MP Sanjay Singh. So what we are being told is that a private individual named Ajit Tyagi, who is an associate of Sanjay Singh, is being currently searched by the Enforcement Directorate. Along with Ajit Tyagi, few other individuals are also being searched by the Enforcement Directorate in connection with this Delhi liquor policy money laundering investigation. So what we are being told is that during the course of the investigation, the agency has got some leads that show that these individuals also involved in some kind of monetary transactions in connection with this particular case, and that's why the agency has carried out search operation at their premises as we speak.
Arvind, thank you so much for joining us with that quick update. The Enforcement Directorate is carrying out searches at Sanjay Singh's associates' premises, Ajit Tyagi and Sarvesh Mishra. We're being told, as Arvind has reported, these searches are currently carrying on in around 5 locations.
Moving on, public opinion, according to this survey, Modi government and Modi is most popular as a leader, and coming in second, a distant second, is Rahul Gandhi as the Modi government completes 9 years in office and gears up for elections next year. NDTV and CSDS bring to you this unique survey, public opinion.
Right. The survey also shows that the Prime Minister remains the most popular leader in the country with a 43% approval rating. Meanwhile, Rahul Gandhi, who has improved his ranking after the Bharat Jodo Yatra, still remains second at 27%.
First key graphic that we'd like to bring up, a public opinion. Who will be Prime Minister of India if elections are held today? What is also important over here is that CSDS didn't list names, and we need to make mention of this as well. This is what people felt. 43% of people felt Narendra Modi, 27% felt Rahul Gandhi, 4% Mamata Banerjee, Arvind Kejriwal 4%, Akhilesh Yadav 3%, Nitish Kumar 1%, and other leaders 18%. All right. We'll talk about that in a moment, but I think let's try and understand where the two major leaders, Narendra Modi and Rahul Gandhi, were and where they are now. So in 2019, right, who will be Prime Minister if elections are held today? Where were they in 2019? Where are they today? Narendra Modi, just a 1% decline. Now, he's been Prime Minister for 9 years. So from 44 to 43%, almost negligible, gives you an idea of the extent of popularity of our Prime Minister. Rahul Gandhi, on the other hand, has gone up, but 3%. It's a substantial 3%, but not substantial if you look at the difference between Modi today and Rahul Gandhi today. So what do people think about Prime Minister Modi? Let's bring up the next point as well. What do people think about Prime Minister Modi? Now this is important and we need to explain it. 40% like Narendra Modi, 23% dislike Narendra Modi, neither like or dislike 25%. In other words, these people are neutral, and there's been a no response for 12%. So 65% either like or are neutral in their opinion of Narendra Modi. Similarly, if we actually add up that category of neutral, 48% either dislike or are neutral about Narendra Modi. But let's look at the top line numbers once again, because we'll be talking about this a lot. 40% like Narendra Modi, 23% dislike Narendra Modi. What do you like about Narendra Modi, right? What is it that people like about Narendra Modi? This is also important because as you see these categories, CSDS has not gone and said A, B, C, D, E, F, here are the topics, please pick them. They have not said that at all. In fact, they've given power to the people that they've questioned, right? And here's what people said. Oratory skills, 25%. Development, 20%. Hard work, 13%. Charisma, 13%. Policies, 11%. Other categories, not specified over here, 15%. No response, 3%. So this is important because I think the cult of Modi, the personality of Modi, whether it is his oratory skills, whether it is his charisma or hard work, right? If that is part of the persona that is Narendra Modi, that actually accounts for more than, for example, policies or development. Now, you would have seen what happened in Australia today, where he attracts so many people around the world. Quite clearly, the personality of Narendra Modi, his charisma, accounts for a lot that the BJP is riding on.
And further breaking news coming in, Congress workers are protesting at Siddaramaia's house currently in Bengaluru. These are Congress workers, as you see on your screens, in the Hiriyur constituency. They are protesting outside the Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaia's residence.
Parmeshwar, their demands for which they are protesting, they are demanding that Hiriyur constituency's MLA D. Sudhakar be given a ministerial post, and that is what they are protesting about. We have Pratibha joining us on the phone line. Pratibha Raman joining us. Pratibha, take us through the kind of crowds that have gathered. I mean, from the visuals we are seeing on our screen outside Siddaramaia's house, protesting, asking and demanding for MLA D. Sudhakar be given a ministerial post.
That's right. In fact, this kind of lobbying has been going on for quite a few days now, ever since Mr. Siddaramaiah as well as D.K. Shivkumar were announced as the Chief Minister and Deputy CM respectively. And soon after that, we even saw 8 ministers who were inducted into the cabinet during the swearing-in ceremony, post which there have been talks of a cabinet expansion. While these talks have been on, several MLAs have been making visits to both the residences of D.K. Shivkumar as well as Siddaramaiah, trying to lobby for a post in the cabinet. And that also includes one of the main persons, and that is who has been a 3-term member of the Karnataka Legislative Assembly. Of several MLAs have been gathering outside Siddaramaia's residence, protesting and hailing praises in support of their favorite leader, trying to see if inducted into the cabinet. The Karnataka Legislative Assembly session is on right now at Vidhan Sauda, and during these 3 days, Siddaramaiah has been shifting between the Vidhan Sauda as well as his
right.
And in a short while from now, both the leaders are due to a visit to Delhi to discuss all of this with the party high command to see they can accommodate the ministers that will put the cabinet as well as the preferences of both Siddaramaiah as well as D.K. Shivkumar.
Right. Thank you so much, Pratibha Raman, for joining us with those details. Parvesha, look at those visuals of the number of people who've gathered outside Siddaramaia's residence demanding that Sudhakar be given a ministerial post. And now let's get your check on the weather situation. Well, good news coming in with Delhi's temperature all set to change. Let's take into account what are the temperatures. Well, Najafgarh in Delhi recorded 46.7, Pitampura 46.1, Pusa Road 45.7, the Ridge Road area 45.1 and Narela at 45.2. So those are the temperatures coming in the range of 45 to about 46 degrees in the national capital from various areas of Delhi. But all that set to change with gusty winds that are prevailing here in the national capital. Light rain is also expected in the NCR region. Well, the national capital does get some respite, and the temperature is expected to go down to about 36 degrees in the next 24 to 48 hours. From touching 46 degrees, the temperature is going to, in fact, improve considerably so. A dust storm that is prevailing here will continue. Heavy rain expected in Himachal Pradesh as well, with heavy rain in Uttarakhand. Let's take into account the maximum temperatures, and the temperatures that you see, they are the ones in red, where the temperature is in the range of 44 to about 46 degrees Celsius. When we talk about heavy rain in Jammu and Kashmir, that's in fact coming in today as well, with a hailstorm expected in Haryana, in Punjab, in West Uttar Pradesh, also in Rajasthan, and hailstorm expected in parts of Uttarakhand as well. Strong surface winds have been prevailing in the northern part of the country, and that's going to continue till tomorrow, while a dust storm is likely in Rajasthan, and that's going to continue till tomorrow as well. So we're talking about temperatures coming down in the northern part of the country, but what we really do need is the monsoon to make its way, and there's been no movement since the 19th as far as monsoon is concerned. No movement in the monsoon. There you can see the temperatures of the only certain areas which you can see in the yellow are where the temperatures are below normal, but mostly in the country, 3/4 of the country where the temperatures are above normal by almost 2 to 3 degrees, in the range of above 42 degrees. And there you can see where it's only central parts of the country, Madhya Pradesh, as well as along the east coast, where you can see that the temperatures at the moment are inching towards being normal. But in the northern part and also towards the west coast, where the temperatures are 2 to 4 degrees more than they should be at this point in time. And with that, we're slipping to a very short break. Lots more coming up on the other side with Parmeshwar. Stay with us.
Let's take a quick look at the international headlines. France has banned domestic flights on short routes. In a bid to cut carbon emissions, France has formally imposed a ban on domestic flights on short routes that can be covered by train. Under this new law, any journeys that are possible in less than 2.5 hours by train cannot be taken as a flight. This change will mostly rule out air trips between Paris and regional hubs, with connecting flights being affected. Now, France's transport minister has said this is an essential step and a strong symbol in the policy of reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Meanwhile, members of the US House Republican leadership say if there is a default on the country's debt, it will be President Joe Biden's fault. This, as US President Joe Biden and top Republican Kevin McCarthy have called their latest talks on the debt ceiling productive, but no deal has yet been reached. While acknowledging areas of disagreement, Biden said a default was off the table. But as you know, the debt ceiling is a spending limit set by the Congress, which determines how much money the government can borrow. Failure to raise it beyond the current cap of roughly $31.4 trillion by June could result in the US defaulting on its debt. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, long seen as Donald Trump's leading rival for the Republican nomination, plans to launch his 2024 presidential campaign in an online conversation with Twitter CEO Elon Musk, according to people familiar with the matter. The 44-year-old two-term governor would be joining a crowded Republican contest to decide whether the party will move on from Trump in 2024. Meanwhile, Netflix on Tuesday expanded its crackdown on users sharing passwords with people beyond their immediate family as it seeks to shore up revenue at the leading streaming television service. One Netflix account is for use by only one household. This is what the company has said in its latest statement. The streaming television giant told financial analysts recently that it had delayed a broad crackdown on sharing of account passwords to improve the experience for their members.